Welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Wow. Most of the country, probably not great, right? Probably not great. The weather has been, pretty brutal. It was fun to watch the Broncos and the Patriots play because you couldn't see the field and all the snow. And, of course, it didn't go the Broncos' way, which that always is tough. And then, of course, you had an exciting game at the end of Seattle where the weather was way better. One of the few places in the country. I know my son is in the city. Huge amount of snow in New York City. Very, very, very cold in most parts of the country. That's going to back everything up. Everyone just be patient with your gold and silver. We'll get it all to you. We have just an absolute beast on our hands right now. Gold and silver, new all-time record highs, and I mean absolutely flying. Gold over $5,100. Just, I guess, we see this where they just decide, we're just going to skip a number or two. Silver, are you ready? Guys, when I put silver on sale, you need to buy every freaking ounce. Because when I put it on sale, immediately buy it. When I put it on sale, it's on sale. Silver is up almost $10. Almost $113 to the ounce. So silver just decided, we're going to break 100, and you know what? Let's just forget.
The first 10
bucks. 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110.
Well, I mean, the only thing, Joe, is for a lot of people that went about their daily lives on Friday evening or Friday late day, silver did finish at 103.34 to end last week, and a lot of people didn't see it until they watched the news.
Right. So, remember what we talked about last week? We are going to just wipe everybody out. That's our goal. We're going to do it today. Ready? Here's what I've got left from the weekend. I've got 200 rolls of dimes at $350. I've got 75 rolls of quarters. It's not very many, guys. At $700. Well, what is that? How much silver are we talking about? What am I getting? For every 2 rolls of dimes, or every 1 roll of quarters, you are going to pay $97.90. You heard me right. $97.90. Right now, gold's $112.76. Then it bouncing all around, somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 under spot. $15 under spot, but that's all I've got. Buy every stinking ounce of it. I've got 200 rolls of dimes, $350. I've got 75 rolls of quarters, $700. By the way, I don't even have what the price is going to be. It's going to be something outrageous. I know this. Rolls of dimes, regular price is going to be over $400. Rolls of quarters are going to be over $800. You're talking like over $100 off. More than that.
JM Bullion has a roll of quarters for $826 as low as price, which means you probably have to buy more than one. So, Joe, we're way lower.
Yeah. $820 is regular price on a roll of quarters. That's $120 off. There's 7.15 ounces in that roll of quarters. That's $16.78 an ounce off the price. 800-951-0592. There is no limit. You want to buy everything that I have at that price? Do it. 200 rolls of dimes, 75 rolls of silver. Here's what I'm looking to buy. I'm looking for silver rounds. I'm looking for 20, 10, and $5 liberties. And when I come out on the air and tell you I'm looking, that means I'm going to pay you more than I normally would. I'm looking for pre-1921 AU Morgan dollars. Looking for those. I'm looking for rounds. I'm looking for $20 liberties, $10 liberties, and $5 liberties. So if you want to sell, call me. 800-951-0592. Why is this happening? What has happened? Remember Friday, reports were breaking that there may be an inventory discrepancy in the vaults at the COMEX. Today has nothing to do with inventory discrepancies. A major intervention to try to save the Japanese yen is underway as we speak. We'll be back. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. By the way, only one line open. If you had 100,000 and you wanted to do silver, today's your day. You may not even be able to do it anymore. I don't know what is ever left. I had 200 rolls of dimes at $350. I had 75 rolls of quarters at $75. That works out to $97.90. You got silver at $113. By the way, the price I gave, you know what? That's no longer going to even be accurate. Silver's gone up now over $113. So, guys, you're probably saving closer to $140 a roll, and it takes $70 a roll on them. This is absolutely incredible pricing. By the way, I'm now also looking for silver eagles. Yeah, okay, so again, let's go over what do I buy today. You buy every roll of dime and every roll of quarter that I have at this ridiculous price. For those of you looking to sell, I'm looking for $20, $10, and $5 liberties. St. Gaudens are fine. Indians are fine. So I'll take any of those. In the silver side, I'm looking for silver eagles. I'm looking for silver rounds. I'm looking for AU pre-1921 Morgan dollars. But do me a favor, call after the show for the selling part. 800-951-0592. And then I had another line open. It just got filled up. There's only one line left open.
I told Joe before we got on the air that maybe this price is a little too low. So I was the one that encouraged Joe.
He did. Jason wanted to go higher.
I encouraged Joe to go. Joe and I had meetings last week, and I was like, Joe, we need to get more aggressive. It's only fair to our customers that we get better pricing. It makes me sick that, seeing, $128 for a silver eagle coming from these other companies, right? And so Joe and I talked, but this morning it's like, well, Joe, we can be aggressive, but do we need to be this aggressive? Joe's like, yeah, let's blow this out. Let's let the customers have a huge win. A huge win.
I want us all to win. 800-951-0592. So what's going on? A lot of things circulating overnight that the New York Federal Reserve, they called it a, quote, rate check on the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen on behalf of the U.S. Treasury. Guys, it's big. This is a big, big problem. The yen-carry trade is broken. The piping is broken. I think they are trying to avoid a major catastrophe. It appears that they are doing a good job of trying to give some fake support to the Japanese yen. The Treasury and the New York Federal Reserve will not comment. But right now, the Japanese yen's all the way down to 154. Remember, it's almost 160. This is a crazy move. My gut tells me that the United States is once again is buying Japanese yen. That's the only thing that really makes any kind of sense right now. And I think that a lot of people are extremely nervous, especially when everybody is refusing. First of all, they won't deny it, right? So that's a bad thing. But they also won't convert it. They also won't confirm everything. But it appears that the U.S. Treasury, with the help of the New York Federal Reserve, has had to intervene into in the Japanese yen market, which once again has gold and silver prices. Really powerful moves here. Gold's up $115 over $5,100. As we said, silver's up $13 in change, and really it's kind of, you know, that perfect storm when we think about inventory levels are super low, unconfirmed reports that they may be even lower. By the way, only a single line open right now, 800-951-0592. I'll try to get some numbers for you during the break, but we had 200 rolls of dimes at 350, 75 rolls of quarters at 700. Like I said, that was $97.90 to the ounce. Interesting. It's going to be a busy week. We've got a lot of Fed talk this week. We've got a lot of earnings. Earnings really going to be big this week as well. But right now, everybody a little nervous because of the intervention that looks like, and again, allegedly hit with intervention led, people believe, by the U.S. Treasury with the help of the New York Federal Reserve. And Jason, I think we're going to see more of these actions. This is not the end. This is merely the beginning. I think we're going to see a lot more intervention in these debt markets and in the currency markets globally. As you know, we've already restarted quantitative easing. The president wants us to embark on a major rate cutting cycle. And again, every time we cut rates, that puts more pressure on the Japanese because, Jason, when we cut rates, they're already supposed to be negative, and Japan is being forced to raise rates because they can't sell their debt.
Right. Yeah. They're going the other way, which the Japanese market, their debt to GDP is the most extreme. They're kind of the leaders. They're the canary in the coal mine, right? Kind of telling you what's really going on, right? And they're raising rates. Joe, I've mentioned that I believe we're going to cut rates, and there's going to be almost $5 trillion of new money just going to flood into this country. And then the inflation is going to hit. I mean, are we looking at inflation this year at the end of the year? I was thinking next year. And then rates go up. America is going to do the same thing Japan's doing. Japan's just far ahead because, hey, they don't have the world reserve currency. You think people don't want dollars, and you don't think foreign nations don't want dollars. Joe, do you think any foreign nations want yen? how many foreign nations are holding yen on their books, right? And do you think they're going to be adding yen? I don't think so, Joe. So that's our future. That's America's future is what's happening in Japan.
We'll see. We'll see how this happens. I know that they're desperate to try to keep the yen.
Let me tell you what Japan's been doing,
below.
Joe, for decades now. They know the situation. They're just the most honest. Hey, America, just bail us out. That's what they've been doing for decades. They don't. It's like, why do we need to be responsible? America, bail us out. I mean, that's it. That's what's going on. Japan just knows better than other nations.
And I'm just going to say that I know that makes probably a lot of people upset. Do not be upset that we bailed out the yen. I'm just telling you. You would not like it if we didn't. That's the bad part. We shouldn't, right? You shouldn't have to do it. But it is far better than letting it explode, because then it ripples through all the debt markets. At least now you can stop it, right? They're trying to stop the tsunami before it happens, right? That is what the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is trying to do. By the way, everybody, gold.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother now raising gold for SocGen, now the latest, saying gold's going to $6,000. Remember, Bank of America, $6,000. $6,000 now seems to be the battle cry. And listen, guys, this isn't just the next couple of months. That's what they're looking at. Germany, Germany, which already repatriated a bunch of gold out of the U.S. vaults, is now deciding whether they want to bring the remaining 1,200 tons that remains in New York home. It appears that they're using Trump as unpredictable. He does everything to generate revenue. That is why the gold is no longer safe in the Federal Reserve vaults. So Bundesbank right now is trying to determine exactly where and how to possibly get all of their gold back now out of New York, Jason.
It's amazing. That's amazing. I watched 3 sources this weekend that made a blunt, honest, in their opinion, they're what they're seeing, that silver will end this week at 150. And what's happening today makes that case look possible, Joe.
113.50 now on silver. And again, this doesn't get any better. Maybe it does, right? It's higher silver.
I tell you,
the better this deal is.
Silver goes to 150 this week and just keeps on going. All right, just anything close to that. I will remember that. Say, hey, I remember that day when silver just broke 100 and went crazy, and we were selling silver dimes at $97 per ounce. Right? I'll remember that, Joe. I'll remember that when we were talking about $97 per ounce silver when it was 113 on the air. How often do you hear that?
Listen, this is the times we're in. Again, very limited what is remaining here. Jason, give me a breakdown here. What is the melt at $114? What are we talking about as far as on silver dimes? So, what is one? So, are we at $8? So, one silver dime.
A roll would be 407 melt. So you have to $407 melt on 3.575 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is insane.
A silver dime. Let's just do the old coinflation.
So that's melt is $8.14.
Yes, melt on a dime is $8.16 at this moment. and then a quarter is going to be $20.30, and a half dollar is going to be
no, $16 and something, $16.30, double.
No,
double.
No, 2.5 times, Joe.
2.5 times. You're right.
That's right.
You're right.
Because it's $20.30 for a silver quarter
only
melt.
40 quarters where it's $50. You're right.
That's
You're
right. And then you have $40.60 melt on a half dollar.
Wow.
A half dollar melt is higher than most 90-something% of the time I've ever sold any silver eagles. Right, Joey? I mean, it was only last year that we were still at under $40 for silver eagles until we got halfway through the year. Yeah. Now it's a half dollar. A third of an ounce of silver.
Oh, my God. We just finally cleared the lines. Lines are open. $350 for dimes. $700 for a roll of quarters. 800-951-0592. We got 2 lines open. Right now, it looks like almost half of the dimes are already gone. We still got 50 rolls of quarters remaining. Guys, I don't know that they'll last the rest of the show, but this is really a huge opportunity to buy silver well back of spot. That's our goal. Our goal in this market is to be the leader, to set the market. Blow these out. This only works if we can blow it out. By the way, the dimes and the quarters, I have them. So they can be up to Jason ASAP. For those of you in Phoenix, if you want to come and pick some up today, come on down. All right, call first, obviously. 800-951-0592. And again, it looks as if a major intervention in the Japanese yen is occurring with the U.S. Treasury and the New York Federal Reserve trying to prop up the yen. That got SocGen out saying gold to 6,000. Bank of America, they said the same thing on Friday. People are now talking about this gold revaluation again. But this time with much newer numbers, people saying, hey, it could be as high as 73,000 an ounce. If half of the national debt, if you wanted to, I guess, back half of the national debt with gold, it'd be $73,000. The problem is that that number is going to be old, like in a few minutes, right? That's the problem. It's an interesting thought. And then on the silver side, Jason said it. A lot of people saying, don't be surprised at $150 silver as early as this week. I don't know. I do know that China has been flexing. When we think about its ability to not only refine it, but to control it, starting to use all of it. It's not just silver, copper, all the different rare earth type metals, but cobalt. China refines 75% of the world's cobalt. So it refines 75% of the world's silver. 68%, of the world's lithium. Nickel. 60% of lithium. 40% of all copper. And when we are starting to look at prices in Shanghai now on silver, Jason, we're starting to see prices of almost $130 an ounce in Shanghai. And, of course, that is an actual physical market.
Yeah, we're looking at a physical market here now, but there's a little bit of speculation and a whole lot of fear. Because here's the thing too, Jason talked. There is the problem this time around. Not enough speculation,
right? Because everyone's probably saying, well, why isn't the COMEX raising margin requirements? Which, guess what, guys? I think they will, but it won't matter because as far as speculation, whether they're longs or shorts in silver, they're at record lows right now. This looks to be driven physically, which is, I don't know how they control it, Jason, outside of saying we're not going to make deliveries. I don't know how else they can control it, because this isn't a situation where, oh my God, paper silver longs are at all-time record highs, and the evil speculators, they're actually at all-time record lows right now. Yeah.
I'm looking at several things here, Joe. I'm trying to keep up with how fast this is moving. It's just we do this because we wait for situations like this. It makes life a lot more interesting. But also, when you're here, you gotta move quick. You gotta be sharp, right, Joe? You gotta be smart, because there's gonna be a lot of retailers in this industry. They're gonna
I
get wiped
will just
out.
tell everybody, most retailers have stopped buying. Most retailers have stopped buying. They're out of money. It's just that simple. When we look at what we are dealing with today with this great price on junk silver, one bag of junk at melt is over $80,000. Right? I mean, it's crazy. Silver Eagles. You want to buy a case of Silver Eagles, right? Or maybe you have a case of Silver Eagles, and you're a coin store. You're a distributor like us, right? One case of Silver Eagles, that's over $60,000, and that's just talking about cost, right? You're not talking about retail. It is amazing. Think about somebody's got hey, I've got a roll of $20 Liberties in inventory, right? Hey, that's not a ton, but I got $20 Liberties, in my vault right now. Dude, you got over $100,000, right? This is something where it is a incredibly interesting situation everybody finds themselves in, where the rush to the debasement rush. There was a report out today saying that U.S. central banks are going to be buying between 60 and 100 metric tons of gold every single month, and gold's over $5,000, almost $5,100. Jason, it doesn't seem to matter. Nothing seems to be derailing the move away from fiat money. And I think the news out of Japan today, the fact that the Japanese, I'm assuming the Japanese central bank called Scott Bassett and Jay Powell on Friday and said, hey, guys, you got to step in. You got to save. Otherwise, the tsunami, right, the water's pulling back out, right? Yeah, it's going to rush back in if you don't save it. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason will be right back. 800-951-0592. Got two lines open. We still got dimes and quarters. Not a lot. Guys, it's getting downright scary here. Silver, $113 and change. You can buy U.S. government hallmarked utility silver, junk silver, dimes and quarters. The dimes at $350. The quarters at $700. Let me do the math here, because I had it in my head, Jason, and then I forgot. $79.90.
That's right.
That's your price per ounce. $97.90 is your price per ounce, and I have them right now. 800-951-0592.
Not $97.90.
Yeah, 97.90.
You said 79, so
well, then I corrected it. I corrected it right away. Yeah,
okay.
90,
basically $98, a little less than $98, guys.
Yeah, let's round up. Let's make it easier for me. $98. Silver is $113. You're more than $15 under melt, right? Under spot, right? If you look at this price, it is just a ridiculous opportunity at 800-951-0592. I know some of you a little worried about Texas. Do not worry. Matter of fact, Wednesday, I will have another major update in Texas. The cavalry is on the way. Don't worry. And I'll tell you all about it on Wednesday. Matter of fact, if you're smart, get your seats while you can. There's only 5 days to the end of the month. So you got to the end of this week. If you buy a one-pack, I'll give you $100 worth of TXC. That's almost, at today's price, it's almost 200 TXC. That's more than a year's supply. A 5-pack, I'll give you $500 worth of TXC. And if you buy the 9-pack, $1,000 worth of TXC. And I want to say I did the math. I think at like $2 or $3, all of you will have made your money back at the end of the year with the free coins. So this thing is just getting started. I know it sucks, and it's been what we're going on 2 straight months, 2.5 months of just absolute crappiness. Don't worry. 800-951-0592. And again, the big move in the market today, everyone's talking about the intervention in the Japanese yen by the United States. Also, at the same time, Germany now saying it may be time to bring all of our gold home. The report published about, hey, if we want to reevaluate gold just to back up half of the United States debt, that would be $73,500. So think about this. To do half of the debt, every day that number will go up. So I'm already reporting a bad number because this came out, I want to say, over the weekend. So every day, on a good day, we only add like $3 billion to the U.S. debt. On a bad day, we add $300 billion to it. But Jason, I don't know. If a tsunami comes in, right, if the United States was either unable or unwilling. See, here's the thing. At a certain point, we're going to be either unable or unwilling to intervene in these debt markets, Jason, and that's when the wipeout happens.
As long as people accept debt, dollar debt, treasuries, as long as that's still accepted on some fashion, they're going to keep throwing it around. So Japan, who's been selling U.S. debt, they're gonna save themselves with U.S. debt. I mean, it's not like we're giving them like crates of dollars to fix their stuff. We're gonna be giving them treasuries, something that or we're gonna buy their debt and then load them up full of more debt for payback. This is debt slavery, Joe. I know we talk about the death of the dollar, but the dollar can't really die until there's an alternative, right? And that Davos meeting sure looked like business as usual. We're going to buy everything in sight. What was it? What's his name from BlackRock was out there saying, we're buying XRP. Yeah, we're in there. Just like we bought up a whole bunch of Bitcoin, kind of mess with that market. more of the same, Joe. Big, huge, deep pockets buying up everything and making it harder for the average guy to dig out of the hole they're in.
Yeah, and again, this is weakening the U.S. dollar. It looks like it's pretty much confirmed now. The Wall Street Journal saying that they waited for the least amount of liquidity in the market to go in and have the maximum effect. That it was a clear signal by the United States and Japan that they are prepared to step in and stop the slide in the yen, prompting the dollar's biggest one-day percentage drop against the yen going back for a while, right? You know, these are big moves, like I said. And, of course, the yen has had the yen-dollar relation has had a lot of big moves. But it's either we do it, or if we don't do it, the yen collapses, or the Japanese bond market disintegrates. One or the other, right? So this is why when you're seeing these reactions in the physical gold and silver markets today, this is why. Disaster averted for right now. We'll be back. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. We still have some dime rolls left, over half of them. We had 200. They are disappearing rapidly here. There are some even less quarter rolls available. We only had 75 of those. So remember the dimes, 50 pre-1965 U.S. silver dimes in quarters. So the dime rolls is $5 face value, so 50 dimes. The quarters, $10 face value, 40 quarters. Right now, we are over $15 below spot, below melt. You're going to pay $97.90. Huh. I hate looking. Silver's now $114. You
want to hear something crazy, Joe? If you bought 100 Silver Eagles last week, middle of last week, if you just bought 100 Silver Eagles last week, you'd be up in the neighborhood, probably more than this. You'd be up $1,500 in 1 week, less than a week. If you bought 1,000 Silver Eagles last week, you'd be up $15,000. That's how fast this is moving.
Silver's up $11 an ounce today at 800-951-0592. We're going to keep watching here the risk that are playing out with the Japanese yen. Obviously, some global intervention. Don't forget, we got the government shutdown at the end of the week. With all the crazy crap in Minneapolis now, almost looks like a certainty that the U.S. government's going to have another government shutdown. On top of that, we still have to hear from the Treasury Department as to how much bigger U.S. bond auctions are going to need to be. This is something where when we watch what's been happening in the gold and silver markets, the debasement trade is real. It is here. Everybody looking to get their hands on physical. This is different. I'll be honest. I've been doing this a long time. I've never seen this. This has nothing to do. The paper markets aren't in control. This is physically driven in both the gold and the silver markets, and everybody's trying to do the same thing. How can we do it without causing a tsunami in the debt markets? How can we? And that is the hard thing. Now we're talking again about we need to repatriate gold out of the United States and back into our own hands. These countries, everybody in the world is battling for physical silver. Wow. And here we are. Never, ever, ever in my lifetime, silver $114.05. But I say that I would be selling any type of silver $16 below melt, below spot. Today's your day.